Namaste. Swami Ashwati Tirunal. So we have started our journey in spiritual life. Now it is going through the path of Ramayana. We are trying to understand the symbols in Ramayana and see the incidents from the level of a spiritualist. Not as a story, but as a gate for spiritual life. We have understood what is Nemi, the attitude, how he became Dasharatha, and Ayodhya is his capital. Ayodhya means peace. Nemi means attitude. Dasharatha means controlling the five Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. And he has got three wives. Kausalya. That shows special intelligence. You should have a special type of intelligence to understand the lessons of spirituality. Why you need such a special intelligence? Science always is objective, but spiritual science is subjective. That's a problem. A scientist may not follow a lot of rules in his personal life. He may live as he wants. But when he comes to the laboratory, he is a scientist. And he can derive conclusions using his intellect, hard work, all these things. In the laboratory, he may be a very good scientist. But in his home, he may not be a good father. Albert Einstein was a great scientist, the greatest, we may say. But from his daughter's point of view, he was not a very good father. A type of dictator he was in his house. That is possible in science. But in spirituality, that's not possible. Your personal life is very important in this. Because in this laboratory of spirituality, you are the microscope, the telescope, the barometer, and all the equipments. And the experiment is on you. All the medicines you're injecting in you, and you're watching your reactions. So, spirituality is a subjective science. And that special intelligence is needed, which is not logical, which is trans-geometrical. Or a high type of intelligence with which you understand things in its correct sense. See, we can compare it with a chessboard. In the chessboard, the pawn moves from one block to other, understanding everything around it, step by step. Science is the step-by-step approach to knowledge. But the knight jumps 2 columns in front and then to the right. He jumps to his position and he doesn't follow those rules. In spirituality also it is like that. You are jumping into knowledge. Not that you are following it like a tortoise from step to step, from each step to like that. It's not like that. In science, it is step-by-step investigation. But in spiritual life, just like a knight, you jump into a conclusion. And that will be right. That's an intelligence connected with intuition. Well, it's just like understanding a joke. Suppose I crack a joke. All the people who listen to it may not understand it. A few people will suddenly understand it and they will laugh. Why? Because they have that intelligence to understand a joke. Many people don't have that facility in the mind. Just like in spirituality also, there is a special intelligence needed, and that's called Kausalya. A guru was sleeping one night. And almost all the gurus are very poor people, because they almost all the gurus are very poor people, because they give much knowledge to jnanam and experience, not to the materialistic things. Naturally, they will be poor. So this guru was also poor. This guru was also poor. A thief entered his hut, and he went around the hut trying to steal something expensive. But it was a futile attempt. There was nothing valuable in that hut. So the thief was very unhappy. He went out of the house and cursed the person inside. The guru was watching all these things in darkness. He came out and asked this person, he came out of the hut and said, "Friend, I am so sorry that you found nothing in this hut." The thief was shocked. Then the guru said, "But I will give you one thing, which is the most precious thing in the world. Would you like to take it?" Then the thief reluctantly said, "Okay, give it to me." He went and took a bucket of water, and he gave that bucket to the thief. The thief asked, "What is in it?" "It's just water." Then the guru said, "No, you see the reflection of the moon in it, isn't it? So what? You walk in such a way that this moon will never disappear from your sight." That's a very valuable thing. The thief obeyed. He took the bucket and started walking. When you move, the reflection will try to disappear. So move in such a way that you find sun each minute. You see the moon. He started walking like that, and finally he entered into meditation. This special intelligence should be there. That is Kausalya. Then Sumitra. A friendly attitude towards everyone. Sumitra. Have only good friends. At the same time, you have no choice. You can have only friends. There should not be any enemy in your life. And that's a very difficult thing. When you become successful, people will become your enemies. There is a saying that if you die without an enemy, you haven't done anything in this world. Maybe true in materialism, but not in spirituality. You should be friendly with everyone. Everyone is important to you. You cannot afford to have an enemy in spiritual life. If you have a trace of enmity in your mind, then you won't progress in spirituality. So that's very important. Be friendly with everyone, but don't get attached to anyone. That's different. In Sanskrit, there are two words. Mamata is one word. Sneham, love. Mamata means loving a person, taking him to be yours. Mamata, mine, that's the meaning. Don't think it is yours. Just know that it's all materialistic feelings and materialistic things which you have to live in this world and go. So, you should be detached with everything. At the same time, you are not supposed to have any enmity or hatred in your mind about any person. There are certain persons who can live like that. There are yet some other persons who always make enemies. Wherever they go, they make their enemies. They have enemies in the family, in the office, in the street, in politics, in religion. They have a lot of enemies. In the social media, you can see this enemies growing in social media. Even journalists, they fight each other as Rama and Ravana. That is Sumitra. Having no enemy and having no enmity. See, when Ravana was defeated finally, and Ravana fell down like a huge mountain, it is said. Rivers of blood flowing out of that mountain. Sri Rama killed Ravana. So that was the end of the war. Then what did Sri Rama do? Sri Rama came out of the chariot, walked towards Ravana, and prostrated at his feet. Sri Rama. He prostrated at the feet of Ravana. And people around him, Vibhishana, Hanuman, Sugrivan, all these people are shocked. Why should Sri Rama prostrate at the feet of Ravana, the evil? When they questioned him, Sri Rama said, see, the earth has never seen such a brave, wonderful warrior. He was a great warrior. So I accept that. I accepted him. See, that is Rama. He has no enmity at all. He is fighting for Dhamma, that is all. That is for what he came. He wanted to save humanity from the dictatorship of he wanted to save humanity from the dictatorship of Ravana. That's why he came. And he has done that. But there's no chance for enmity, hatred. Then that is Sumitra, a spiritualist should attain that quality. Then Kaigeyi. Kaigeyi, from the word itself, we can understand it. The administration power. In Malayalam it is called Kaigaryam Cheyuka. That means administers. You should know the administration, the business management, the body management, the mind management, the finance management, the home management, the house, whatever that is, the country management. That's a special skill. And Kaikeyi has it. So Dasharatha's wife is Kaikeyi, and Kaikeyi should be a sadhaka's best quality. That means you should know how to administer your life. Then, even though he had all this, Dasharatha didn't have a touch of God. He didn't got a glimpse of God. In spite of all the sadhana that he did, he was in peace. He had controlled the 10 senses, and he had special intelligence. He was friendly to everyone, and he knew how to carry himself. But still, he didn't have an experience of God. That's a special junction in a spiritualist life. In spite of all these pujas and all this meditation and all this yoga and all these techniques that you use, the penance you take, the pain that you took, there won't be an experience of God. That's really painful. Then the sadhaka will start thinking like, oh, am I wasting my life like this? Personally, I know that pain very well. From morning till late night, doing a puja in a temple, meditating, doing yoga, reciting Ramayana, again and again doing puja. And leave as almost as a beggar. For what? For realization. For getting one small experience of God. It never came. I was almost alone for 8 years doing this sadhana. So at that time, I used to worry a lot. I used to ask myself, are you really spoiling your life? I was very young at that time. So naturally, when you are young, the world is very attractive for you. And the world will attract you also. You will attract the world. So the attractions were around. And I was sitting in the midst of a city, in the heart of a city, alone, in a temple, practicing spiritual life, without any result. And that's a big problem. But I still remember, in my diary, I wrote at that time, if I have a son, if a son is born to me, I will never allow him to go into a spiritual life. Because the pain was so much. But later, I myself wrote in the diary, even if I had 100 children, I would send them to spiritual life. Because once you reach, then the whole swimming is enjoyable. Dasharathan wants a child He wants a son. He wants knowledge. He wants Rama. Rama means the end of darkness. Rama. The darkness moves out. The ignorance goes. And then knowledge blooms. That is the knowledge one person needs. But he's not getting it. What to do? That is a problem. Let's go forward and see how he solves that problem. The next episode. Keep safe.